What's going on, guys? I would normally say welcome to another episode of Here's the Thing, but, well, maybe this is an official episode of Here's the Thing. I'll probably upload it. So this is for the class, American government, and this is how I'm going to do my presentation. And it was a no-brainer. As soon as I got the opportunity to do a video, I'm like, absolutely. So I'm going to run through the questions, really. What topic did I choose and what made me choose it? Well, it was the topic about the USPC, the United States Pandemic Corps, being opened up to fight the pandemic, other global pandemics potentially across the world, internationally and nationally. And President Hoover is the name of the fictional president that wanted to start that up and implement a draft. So she wants to have a draft, everyone from the age of 18 to 30 that can go and be a part of the USPC. I thought it was a pretty interesting topic, you know. I really wanted to get into the draft. It was the draft and the creation of the USPC. Those two things I felt as though were really interesting. If I could learn more about it, absolutely. And so that's what really drew me into that. And it was kind of an intimidating thing. You know, if could you imagine the president could do that all by themselves, right? Just open up a agency, start a draft, and get everything going. That just seemed like, wow, a mind opener if that was really the case. So that's really what attracted me to that. Another question I read about, I didn't honestly really read I read the other two, but I don't really remember because it didn't really appeal to me in any significant way. As soon as I read the second one, I was like, all right, that's the one I really want to do. But I do remember another one that had something to do with the shrinkage of like federal offices and like the budget, or like paying people that work for the government less. It was like less government spending. And that kind of interests me a little bit because I feel like I kind of lean more towards that. We talk about federalism. I don't like I like the Reagan side of federalism, right? I don't like the FDR side of federalism. I don't like the government being a little bit too involved in local to state government. I like it the other way around. And so that third question kind of interests me a little bit, but I didn't pick it. Before I began my research, what did you think you would find, and what did you think your ultimate conclusion would be? Well, I knew what I would find, right? I mean, I found everything that... Well, I'm not sure if I found everything in it, but I knew I would find information about the draft. I knew I would find information about executive orders and what the limitations of those executive orders would be. I knew I would find the locations of where these powers come from. It's funny because I actually, when I sent my draft in, I did it incorrect because I believe I cited Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution for the executive orders, where that power comes from, and it's technically incorrect. So it was nice to learn stuff like that. And my ultimate conclusion, I thought, would be that she would be able to get farther than most people think. That's what I thought originally, that she'd be able to damn near get it done exclusively by herself. I was kind of thinking that, and I was like, the president might be surprised about how much she can accomplish if that's what she wants to do. Turns out that's not really the case, or at least that's what the conclusion I came to. It was not really the case. How did you go about analyzing the hypotheticals? How if at all, it says it, but if at all, did what you learned in the first half of the course help you analyze the issues raised by the hypothetical? So, how did I go about analyzing the hypothetical? I basically took it chunk by chunk, right? I'm gonna start with a couple key components: the draft, the USPC, and the limitation of the executive orders and how that would all play out. I knew state of emergency would be involved. I knew the SCOTUS would be involved. Obviously, I knew these branches of government would be involved. So I pretty much just broke it down piece by piece. Definitely helped me in the first chunk of class, for sure. Particularly with the limitations of each branch with regards to the other branches and how that sort of they come together. The synergy between the branches and how they can check each other and stuff. All that stuff that we learned in the first part of class certainly helped me out. I could not imagine that if you called someone just sitting on their couch and was like, hey, you got to do a research paper and here's your topic, and they don't know nothing about the government, or at least they're not in the classroom, so they don't really have the same education. It would be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare. They would have to spend a long time researching, and they'd probably get a lot of stuff wrong. Yeah, if you asked me to do it before the class, I would have been screwed. So I think just Marbury versus Madison, learning about that in the judicial branch, that was a big thing before the essay. And if you asked me before the class, I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know. So I'd say that's probably the number one thing, if anything. After you did your research and began to write your paper, did anything surprise you? If so, what was it? Yes. What surprised me was how much the executive order, the executive branch really wouldn't be able to do this exclusively. There's really no way, there's not much the president can do that the other branches can't check. The other branches can pretty much check the executive branch almost every step of the way. It requires some level of cooperation. I mean, even declaring a state of emergency can be blocked. So I was just surprised by how much you really do need to cooperate with the other branches of government in order to get significant legislation passed, even somewhat minuscule legislation passed. So that kind of surprised me. Yeah, so the next question is, how did you find the sources you relied upon in writing your paper? I went to Google Scholar. And that was pretty much it. I cycled through Google Scholar, and yeah, that's what I do. A lot of my research papers, I might have used Google in general without using Scholar, just a Google search. I actually didn't use the library. I didn't use the MCC library, so, it is what it is. Did you find sources that you decided not to include? What caused you to make that decision? No, not necessarily. Oh, yeah, I did. I found something by The Atlantic. It was something by a paper. It's like a media outlet called The Atlantic, and they were just slanted as hell. You know what I mean? Like, it was just ridiculous. I mean, they had some good information. I felt like I learned a little bit from reading it, but I was like, I don't think I want to take anything from this because it seems like super, super biased. Like, so, and it was something about Trump, so you know how it is. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to take that one. I read a little bit, but I won't put it in. It's a little bit too biased. I try to get some things in my research paper are just the actual, like, the actual clause. Like, sometimes I'm not even necessarily linking a website. I'll just link the actual thing, like state of emergencies. I just have the act. So, did you feel you had developed the knowledge and understanding of the American government over the semester to allow you to analyze a problem like this? Absolutely. I kind of answered that question before. Again, if you asked me this before the class started, it would have been a rough time in hell. Could you have done it without taking the class? Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure. I could have done it without taking anybody could do it without taking the class. Are you going to do well if you don't take the class? Right? How long is that going to take you? How much time is it going to take for you to do it if you don't go to the class? That's the question. Let's see. How might your research and analysis have been different without this class? It would have been a pain. It really would have been a pain. There would have been so many things I would have gotten wrong. There's things I gotten wrong in the research paper as of right now. So there's so many things I would have gotten wrong, even more so. Obviously, if I didn't take the opportunity to pass in the essay prior to the due date to have it checked, there would have been things that would have got by me that would have been incorrect. Imagine I didn't take the class and I tried to do that and I didn't have the opportunity to pass the paper in prior. That would have been even worse. So it really... I would have done it, but it would have been bad. I think anyone could really do it, but they really would. The question is, would you have been good at it? Would you get a B at least? Would you get a C? Would you get a C in the research paper? I don't know. So, and the last question is there anything else you would like to tell the class about your research paper assignment? Well, it was a fun thing. It's weird. It got me more. It elevated my intrinsic just interest in the American government. Obviously, I have an interest in it because I run a YouTube channel and I talk about politics, and so I know roughly about the government. But after taking this class, I find myself in my spare time kind of sitting back thinking, oh, I wonder if this is possible. I wonder if this is possible. And I'm kind of like looking stuff up. I'm like, so I would say just with this project, just getting into some of these things, it's eye-opening and it's interesting, in my opinion. And yeah, again, there wasn't a whole lot that the president could get done by herself. And that was essentially my conclusion. And you're going to have to persuade the other branches, and you're really going to have to be a member of the people, So that's it. That's all. I had a good time. Hopefully everyone else had a good time. And that's it. Until next time, guys. Now you see, now I say until next time, because now you got to check the channel out. That's the thing. So until next time, guys. See ya.